Technology has taken the world by storm through artificial intelligence. People are quite skeptical and fearful of artificial intelligence. The reason for this is because people believe that AI, which is artificial intelligence, is here to replace humans and actually do away with them. Well, I have a different opinion about that, and I will show you the different side of AI. Welcome to the Scottish Summit. My name is Someleze Diko. I'm from South Africa and I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I'm here to do the introduction to Power Apps with AI Builder. So, what is AI Builder? AI Builder is a Microsoft Power Platform capability to improve business performance by automating processes and predicting outcomes. You do not require any coding or data science skills to add intelligence to your apps using AI Builder. There are two types of AI models in AI Builder. We have the custom AI models and the pre-built AI models. The custom AI models can be built by choosing a model type in AI Builder and train it to do a specific AI task using your data that you feed into the model. Pre-built AI models are models that are already built to perform a specific task for you. They're already trained and they're ready for use in your app. So I believe that you have to take this by thinking about a pet. If you have a dog, for an example, look at custom AI models. So you have your dog, probably you got it, it's still new, and when you get with it at your place, you want it to be able to identify burglars and you want to train it to be able to listen to you whenever you say sit, and it doesn't listen to you. So you have to train it over and over again. When we look at pre-built AI models, we look at trained dogs, canine dogs, the ones that are used with the police. They're already trained. So they listen to every single task that you have for them. So they're already trained for you. So let's look at the pre-built AI models. We have the business card reader where you are able to look at and scan a business card using your phone or any device that you have. This business card reader, it actually extracts information from that business card and actually save it to your database based on your user requirements. We also have the text recognition. We have the category classification, the key phrase extraction, the language detection, in which, for an example, if you have different employees from different backgrounds and you have a feedback form and they've put their feedback in different languages, for an example, French, and now you want to understand what they say or you want to detect what kind of language it is, you can use the language detection in which it will detect which language they used in that feedback. We have the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis also can work well with a feedback form. For an example, let's say you have a product, for an example, an Xbox. You just released an Xbox and now you have a feedback form for its users, right? So what you have to do with that feedback form, people write, for an example, the Xbox is amazing, I enjoyed it. The sentiment analysis, when you use it, it will say that the sentiment from that text phrase is positive. Same applies when a person has said or typed something on your feedback form saying that they did not enjoy using the Xbox and it is a bad product. So this way you can be able to know and judge on how your product is doing with the users, right? And we also had the receipt processing. The receipt processing is when it works well, it works in a similar way as the business card reader. You are able to scan a receipt and you're able to extract information from that receipt and save it to your data source, whether it's SharePoint or your SQL database, or you are saving it in your OneDrive or your Excel spreadsheet. But lastly, but not least, we have also the text translation as well. Let's look at the custom AI models as well. We have the prediction, we have object detection, in which you are able to take a picture of an object and it'll be able to detect what kind of object it is. Remember, custom AI models are models that you're the one who's responsible for training them. So you feed it data to identify which object you want to detect. We also have the category classification, the entity extraction, and the form processing. Form processing also works in a similar way as a business card reader and the receipt processing, in which you take a picture of your form and be able to extract information from that form and save it to your data source. So where can we use AI Builder? We can use AI Builder in Power Automate, and we can use it in PowerApps, in which I will show you how to use AI Builder in PowerApps, right? So enough talk. Let's quickly switch to a demo, and then I can be able to show you how it really works and how to actually use AI Builder in PowerApps. Right. So I'm gonna head over to makepowerapps.com, in which this is where you are able to build your apps and you are able to build your models using AI Builder in makepowerapps.com environment, right? So to build these apps, to build a model, a custom AI model, you have to come to on the right hand side, on the left hand side of your screen. You have these different options here in which you can look through and look for AI Builder and click on AI Builder. If you are here to actually build a custom AI model, you have to click on build. And if you already have a model that's already trained or you already built it, you will click on models. So let's click on build, and then I can show you a little bit on how to actually use or build your own custom AI model from scratch, right? So like I said, when you're looking at custom AI models, those models are the models that you train on your own specifically, and you actually feed them data each and every time, right? But before we carry on, you have these different options here where you have category classification, entity extraction, form processing, object detection, and prediction. Those are your custom AI models, in which those are the type of AI models that you want to build, that you want to train from scratch, right? And then if you scroll down towards the end of the page, you would find that under Get Straight to Productivity, you have different models that are there. These models are your pre-built models, in which you have all the different types of pre-built models, right? So right now we're focusing on the custom AI models. So I do not want to just build it from scratch, because I already had a model that I built for this session, because it kind of takes time for it to train your model. So let's quickly go to models. So on this screen is where you're able to see all the models that you have in your AI Builder environment, right? The ones that you created and the ones that you were training, right? I have these three different AI models that I already built from scratch. And you can click on shared with me, in which I currently do not have any AI models that are shared with me. If you're working in a team, this is where you'd find AI models that are shared with you. So let's look at my models. The one that I want to look at is the t-test run model, and I will click here. I'll click on it, in which it will take me to the screen where it shows me the full details of the AI model, right? So I already have this model already trained, because I wanted it ready for the Scottish Summit. right? So let's quickly click on edit model, so that we can be able to see how are things whenever you're building your AI model, your custom AI model from scratch. My AI model was based on object detection. So I was training it to be able to detect different types of green tea, right? In which it'll be completely up to you on which objects you want it to detect. So the first step here, in which mine already checked, the first step is selecting a domain. What does it mean to select your domain? It means what kind of objects that you want your model to be able to detect. Do you want it to be common objects, I mean, objects on retail shelves where you find them on different supermarkets and stores, or brand logos if you want, probably for an example, if you want your model to detect the Microsoft logo, for an example. Mine was based on common objects. I clicked on common objects, and then you would click on next after you have selected your model's domain. And then the next step is where you have to give or choose the objects for your model to detect, right? What does this mean? It means you have to give it you have to give the objects names, right? Mine are green tea cinnamon, green tea mint, and green tea rose. For you, for an example, if you, let's say you wanted to detect brand logos, you were gonna name your objects for your model to detect as Microsoft. The first object name would be Microsoft. The second object name, maybe let's say the student ambassador logo, or the Azure logo, and then the third one would be, let's say, GitHub logo, right? That's where you name your objects that you want your model to be able to detect. And you can add as many as you want based on your user story and based on your requirements that you want. Then after that, you press on next, right? When you press on next, this is where you're able to add images. You can add images either from your local device, which is your laptop or your computer, or you can add images from your data source. Let's say maybe you have your images stored in SharePoint, for an example. So I already had uploaded images from my device, which were 30 images. But now you have to mind certain requirements for training your model. These models, they have certain requirements. You have image requirements, in which your image requirements have to be in JPG format, PNG, BMP image, and they have to be they have to be up to 6 megabytes each. And another thing that you have to mind is that whenever you want to train your model, or you want to train your model, each object has to have 15 plus images per object, right? Each object has to have 15 plus images per object, because this way it can be able to detect those objects better. You can have more pictures, right? You can have more images of the object that you want to detect, so that it can be much more accurate as the way you want it to be, right? That's another requirement for training your model. And then after that, after you've added all of those images from your device or from your data source, you can click on next. So the next step in training your model is to be able to tag your images. What does it mean to tag your images? It means, you remember the objects that we gave name to, or that we created? Remember the green tea rose, green tea cinnamon that I had, green tea mint? So once you have your pictures uploaded, because if you can see mine, they're already tagged, but let me click on one of them and then it will show you how to actually tag pictures. So let's say you've added all of your pictures, right? All of your images onto this environment where you're able to train your model. You've added that image, and then now, let's say it was a t-shirt, or maybe let's say it was a picture that had the Microsoft logo. So what you have to do to be able to tag that image, you can see that there's a plus sign, or you're able to click on the image itself or the object itself in the image, and then you have to choose one of the three or any number of the objects that you had already created, already named in the previous step, in the two previous steps that we had, right? This one is green tea cinnamon. This is the object that I want it to detect it as, which is green tea cinnamon, right? So if I quickly do this again around this, because you can do it without clicking on it as well, and then I click on green tea cinnamon because that is the object I wanted to detect, and that is green tea cinnamon itself. And then after that, once you're done, you can click on done tagging, and then it will save all your tags that you have. Again, the minimum requirement that you have for each object, since I have 3, minimum requirement based on the number of images for the object to have is 15. If it's less than 15, it'll give you a problem. It will not allow you to be able to detect that object because you did not meet the minimum requirements for that object, right? But right after that, if you're done tagging, then you can click on next, right? Right after that, once you've clicked on next, and then you have the model summary and everything that you have, and then you can click on train. And then once you've clicked on train, in which it may take a while based on the number of images that you have put into the object, and you wanted the object to detect, right? It may take a while. And then you can click on go to the details page, in which you can see the full details of your object detector model. Luckily, mine has already finished training, and then I already published it. Wait, let's double check. Oh, it's still training. There it is. Still training the new version of my model because I edited the model itself. So it's training the new version of my model. The next step after it's finished training the model, you have to be able to use the model in PowerApps. So how to use the model in PowerApps? You have to publish the model itself onto PowerApps, because you cannot use something that is not published. For an example, I'm a developer, and I cannot allow people to use, let's say, a website that I've already built without publishing it on Azure, for an example, or without publishing a mobile application on Azure. If it's not published, people are not going to be able to use that application or that web app itself. So you have to publish it. Again, this is custom AI models. That's what we are trying to do, in which right now in the screen, it'll show you the performance based on the number of images that you have and based on the number of objects that you have, right? Sometimes it can give you 100% accuracy, in which right now that's what it gave me. Sometimes it won't give you 100% accuracy based on the number of data that or the amount of data that you pushed into the model itself when you're trying to train it and you're trying to build it. So sometimes it can do that. And for it to have a better chance at accuracy, you have to supply more data for you to be able to train it properly and have 100% accuracy. So this is still training, the new version. So I think I will just use the old version that I have because I didn't really change much on it. So I'm gonna switch on to the app that I already built, right? Without wasting that much of time. So I have a screen here, don't be confused. I have a screen. In my screen, I have object detector screen, right? We'll get to the other two screens that we have there. I have the object detector screen and it has nothing in it. It's completely blank, right? So for you to see it, let me try and change the fill of the screen. Maybe, yes, maybe it will be better to see. Yes. So I changed the fill. So how do I use the trained model that I have on the AI builder side that I've already trained and built? So what you have to do is to go to insert, right, as I'm doing, and then at the far right of your screen you will find AI builder. In AI builder, that option will give you different options in which you'll have business card reader, you'll have visit processor, form processor, object detector, and text recognizer. Some of the other options that are here are for pre-built AI models and some are for custom AI models. As I mentioned before, the one I did, the one I just showed you, is the object detector. So we have to select object detector, right? So let me select object detector so that we can be able to use our model the model that we just created, right? So if you've created an app that has AI builder in it, make sure whenever you are sending it out to your users that your users have a premium subscription to the Microsoft PowerApps or the Microsoft 365 subscription. They have a premium subscription. So the component, the AI builder component for object detector has been added to a screen, but now we have to select an AI model. We have to choose an AI model. This is the most important stage and important part of our app so that we can be able to use the AI model that we just built. So what was the name of our AI model? It was T-test run. So we have to select T-test run because I can find it here, and we have flowers and I have T-test run, and that was the name of my AI model in which I just built, which is T-test run. So let's select T-test run there, and then now just quickly put it properly and just resize it like this, right? Okay, that's awesome. Okay, I also want us to be able to extract some information from the object detector AI model without it doing anything, right? Because it can just detect and then it won't do anything. Let's quickly see what I mean. So let's run this and see if it really works as we were using the AI model that we built. So let's click on detect, right? And see if it can find anything. Let's go here and let's go here. Let's see. Let's click on that and then say open. Let's see if it can be able to detect the objects that are in the picture that I just selected. Each time for you, whenever you want to test your model, you have to choose and select pictures that you can be able to use for your test for testing your model. So our AI model works. It detected green tea cinnamon. Let's see, it's green tea cinnamon. green tea rose. It detected green tea rose. That's fine. It also detected green tea mint. Let's double check. Yes, it's green tea mint. So we have our AI model working, and that would be it. But I want us to be able to extract some information from it so that we can see if we can be able to count how many of those objects that it detected on the picture are they in that picture, right? So let's close that, say okay, and let's insert a gallery in which towards the end of your screen in the insert tab, you click on gallery, right? And let me see if I can choose which one I can choose. Do I want this one or do I want this one? Here, let me just take horizontal. And let me resize it a bit. Okay, that doesn't work properly, so let me just remove it. Let's try vertical. Right, and just put it here. That's vertical. That's our vertical gallery. And then do that. Let's see, let's change the fill and make it white. Yeah, that'll work properly. Yeah. So now we have to change the information that this gallery shows. And we want the information, our information is going to come from the object detector model that we just did, or the object detector component that we just used. So here on the formula tab or formula bar under items, change that custom gallery sample into the name of your AI model, not your AI model, but the name of your component, which is, I have it as object detector 1. And then I can say dot results, right? I can say dot results if I want to, right? So that it can show me what it got, right? And then let's quickly change that. Instead of it showing us the tag ID, let's make it show us the tag name of that detected object, and then change that from the tag name to, let's say, the tag, let's see, okay, let's quickly do this, change that from results. Let's see if we can use grouped results, because results doesn't really work properly for us. So let's use grouped results, and then let's see if it's gonna work this time. So we have to change it to this item dot, I want object count, so that you can be able to count how many of that certain object did it detect on the picture. So let's see, right? It says that it detected green tea cinnamon, and it detected 1 of the green tea cinnamon. And in our picture, there's only 1 green tea cinnamon and green tea rose and green tea mint. It's 1 of each. You can do that. You can try again using a different picture. Let's see. It'll give us probably the same results again. And it's working, in which it's trying to detect again what are the things that are in the picture. Again, it detected green tea mint properly, green tea rose properly, green tea cinnamon properly, and the object count of each is 1, right? So that is our custom AI model. So before I waste any more time, I want to quickly show you our pre-built AI model. So this one, don't mind the matter of fact that I already have the component already added. The one that I want to show you guys is a receipt processor, and the receipt processor or receipt processing is a pre-built AI model. So it's already trained for you, so you do not have to go through the steps that I was explaining earlier on, in which you have to name your objects, you have to upload pictures, you have to tag those pictures based on the objects that you have. So this one's already trained for you, and where to find it, you go straight again on the right hand side of your screen. You go and look for AI Builder and other AI Builder. Under it, you click on Receipt Processor, in which that is your component for your receipt processor, in which I already have here, right? So you have the component itself. And if you can see here, I have text boxes all over this place in which I want to extract the information. Once the receipt processor detects the receipt, I want it to extract the information. What do I want to do with the extracted information? I want it to put it into text boxes so that it can be able to save into our database, so that I can know that this certain receipt or invoice, this is the information I got from it. What do I mean and how do I do that? So for each text box, right, what you have to do, let me remove that instead and just do it and show you guys. So what you have to do, based on whatever information you want to take from the extracted data on the receipt, you say receipt processor, in which it's the name of your component. Again, mind the names of the component, not the name of the AI model, but the name of the component itself. So it's receipt processor 1, that's the name of my component, and then it's highlighted green, in which it shows that it's about to take information from that component. And then you say dot. Here I want the merchant name, which is probably the name of the distributor, the name of the store, for an example, something like that. And then you click on it, and then that way it will be able to extract information or extract the name of the merchant or the name of the store. Same applies for your phone number, the transaction date, the subtotal, the text, and the total. So how does it work? Let me quickly run this for you guys and see. So I have the screen, right? It has these different text boxes, like I just explained. This one extracts and takes the information of the merchant name. This one's for the phone number, this one's for the transaction date, and this one is for the subtotal, and this one's for the text and the total. So what do you do again? Similar to how we do with object detector, we have to scan a picture, which is we have to scan our receipt that we have, which is we have it as a picture, right? So let's see. You can see, guys, this is completely exciting stuff, not the AI is robots trying to end the world and end humanity and stuff. So this is all awesome stuff. So I have a picture here, which is the picture of a receipt that I had back in the day. And then I say open so that it can be able to extract some information from that receipt, right? So I'm just scanning a picture and I just uploaded that picture. And you can see here, it has this blue lines all over this picture, these blue lines. What does it mean? It means that on those blue lines, it's actually extracting information from those blue lines. Whatever it has that is inside those blue squares or blue lines, it's information that it's going to take, right? We have the merchant name, Goodwill Industries. At the top of the receipt, we have Goodwill Industries. The text, we have 0.59. In text on the receipt, in text, we have 0.59. So this way you can be able to store information based on your receipts that you have, and you can be able to keep track of your expenses on what did you buy that's that costed how much, or probably let's say you bought a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, and you don't remember how much it cost you at that time, and when you came back at that time, you scanned your receipt, and then when you scan that receipt, you save the information in your data source. So you can be able to pull that information from your data source and understand that, oh, this is how much it cost me. Same applies even if you are in business, even if you are running a company, you'll be able to monitor the company's spendings, and you'll be able to see which service provider or which distributor costed how much and on what stuff, and which other distributor is cheaper than the other. You can do a lot of awesome stuff using the receipt processor, and you can be able to do some data analysis in which you can be able to compare prices from two different places, right? So that was the receipt processor, and it's a pre-built AI model. And then last but not least, right, I want to show you the sentiment analysis pre-built AI model. So this one, I have a text box here. Let's quickly change the background of that so that it doesn't seem like it's not visible it's not clearly visible. Yeah. So I have a text box here in which I can be able to put anything, any feedback if I'm putting feedback. So sentiment analysis just takes, it scans for the sentiment in that sentence, or in that feedback form, or in whatever you have, right? So right now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a label, right? That label will show me, let me see. That label will show me, here's the text part, will show me what sentiment comes from the text that I got from the text input itself, right? So if I remember this correctly, please do not mind me. So you say AI builder so that you can be able to know what's going on. Analyze sentiment. So you pull in, because it's already pre-built for you, you say AI builder.analyze sentiment. Where are we analyzing sentiment from? We are analyzing a sentiment from the text input, the text box that we have on the screen. Text input, which is, I have it as text input 1, and then we close the brackets or the braces, and we say dot sentiment, right? We have it like that, and then that is basically how it would work. But I think probably there is something I did that is wrong, right? You know, live coding, live demonstration sometimes is not really, it's not a really good thing. So hopefully you learned whatever that I was trying to do. So let's see, I don't know what I did wrong, but probably something is wrong there is something wrong that I did. So I'm not sure, but let's see if let's see edit in formula bar, and then you can say, oh, I think there is something that I forgot. Analyze sentiment, and then text input text. Right, hopefully that is what's wrong, unless I'm wrong. Yes, I am wrong. Well, that is what I was trying to show you, but I guess that was okay. Basically, custom AI models and pre-built AI models are different things that you can have for whatever business use cases or business processes that you have. I don't want to waste time trying to debug that. And yes, I don't want to waste time debugging the sentiment analysis because it may take a while because I probably have forgotten something. So I've shown you the receipt processor. Receipt processor is the pre-built AI model, and I've shown you the object detector, which is a custom AI model in which you build on your own. So what's different with the receipt processor and the object detector is that when you're building and training your your models in object detection, you have to put in data, which is your pictures, and name your objects that you wanted to detect in pictures. Whereas in receipt processor, you do not do any of that. You just pull in the component and then you say what you want to extract from the picture. You do not train it. It's already pre-built for you. So that was awesome. That was an awesome rundown, even though you know that sentiment analysis part was kind of off. But I would like to thank Script Runner, DQ Global, Proximo 3, Red Spire, Agilicis, and Hitachi Solutions for sponsoring the Scottish Summit. It has been a great honor in speaking at this wonderful event. And again, my name is Diko Someleze, and I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador from South Africa, Durban. And you can find me at on Twitter at the handle which is on your screen, which is at Diko Someleze. So be sure to use the hashtag that we have, which is hashtag Scottish Summit on Twitter, LinkedIn, every social media platform that you can find the Scottish Summit on. Please use that. And here's a quick reminder is that my session will be uploaded onto on the YouTube channel for the Scottish Summit after 14 days. So if you missed something on the session while I was still doing it, please feel free after 14 days to actually go and look at it. From me and artificial intelligence side and PowerApps with AI Builder, that's a wrap. And thank you for having me, and thank you for taking your time to learn from me. It has been a great honor. Thank you.